Alright, hello everyone, welcome back once again to Mania 7 Key World Cup 2025. We're back here with a little bit of a spicy matchup going here on the winner bracket. You would see one of the few fan favorites as well for the entire tournament. You're gonna have Philippines versus Hong Kong, Seed 3 versus Seed 6. This is me, and I'll be commentating alongside Sir Chu. How's it going?
Hello, hello. What a nice evening we have. And this matchup in particular is quite interesting because Zek and Tanjing C have been showing really good form over the past two matches. Meanwhile, the Philippines, this is that one match where, honestly speaking, they'll have to start stepping up because their form over the past two matches haven't exactly been what we would expect for what we would have expected from them the past two weekends. And it's because Hong Kong will never let them breathe this match. If they need to take advantage of their seeding, really, of their players, pretty much.
Yeah, they are certainly not going without a fight for against the Philippines, especially for big powerhouses on the household name. I would say even for the Philippines themselves might have not lost their edge even on the earlier rounds or in particular. At the very least, we're gonna expect some at the very least almost the same roster, given if they're also available when they are able to show up on some of the, I guess in particular, map types would be fairly interesting.
Well, I think we've pretty much talked about everyone's advantage here. I mean, I think the one thing that Hong Kong might want to look at is actually the rice. As unintuitive as it may be, considering that Hong Kong is also pretty strong on noodles, but it's also contingent on who the Philippines would end up playing the rice charts in this match.
Yeah, recently showing that I guess on the Philippines side has been mostly Arkwin, Shadow, and maybe on the side maybe Sunny as well, showing up like around 16 in particular. We haven't seen quite a bit of OG Sounds action, or maybe some of you might know them as Kura in the, I guess in particular earlier name instances, which it might show some bits of struggle for from the usual I guess team members from the Philippines side. Yeah, hopefully we get to see a little bit more of other team members to shine as well. And mostly, I guess in particular, would be OG San.
Yeah, I mean, again, you mentioned they'll have to play at their very best now because we're already getting to that part of the tournament where you cannot really afford showing any weakness. But anyways, I think we're just waiting for everything to be set up so that we can see how everything will pan out for the strategies in this match.
Yeah, alright. It looks like we got a few bits of setting up for, I guess, the actual room itself. What would you think the bans are going to be? This would be fairly interesting because Hong Kong is mostly known as a jack of all trades, which you would know that Philippines will be able to make sure their specialty does not lie or deviate from their plans.
Well, the Philippines are going to be playing to their strengths. I would presume that they might be banning, most likely, Morning Loom. If any of the LNs, maybe LN4, which, funnily enough, has been a favorite chart to ban this entire weekend. Those are at least at least historically, those are the charts that the Team Philippines would end up banning here. Meanwhile, for Hong Kong, LN1 might be something to look at because Sunny and I presume Oji-san would be the ones playing them, if not Arkwin. Something to note. And also Shadowkun, also pretty decent on Inverse. Another thing that they could look at maybe is the chord streams for the bands, or maybe the speed pick. But I think Hong Kong has a bit more leeway really with what they could ban.
Yeah, all right. We should be seeing coordination being protected from the Philippines. We're not going to be seeing that much of a ban for Hong Kong side, but I mean, I guess the Hong Kong should not be worrying too much about that. I guess for that
Okay.
pick being protected
Okay, L4 being protected. Okay, that's
and
interesting.
court stream being protected from Hong Kong. That's a interesting one. We have seen quite a bit of bans for slower court stream, but this time this actually be protected, which is a counter example of past matches where both of those are being banned quite a bit.
Well, let's see what the Philippines would end up banning in this case.
Morning Gloom, huh? Okay, so no wacky stuff, no technical fix. Fair ban, I
Okay.
guess, for against the
Yeah.
Philippines, but Philippines would be. I'm not sure, but Philippines will probably gonna have to take a gamble and maybe ban one of the hybrid. I would say.
Yeah, like forget what I said earlier because I think the teams are not going to be playing to expectations at the very least. Hmm. Actually, a hybrid ban might not be too out of place. Most likely, if anything, it might be hybrid 2. But considering everything else,
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
I mean, I guess it's fair for Isopod being banned since it has some few, I guess, more trickier snaps in terms of complexity, which I do not think that Philippines will able also risk it.
Hmm. Like maybe if it's
Oh,
not okay, Rice 5.
mi- mixed rice. We're not gonna be seeing also original this time, I guess. No one's liking rice here. What I'm assuming from this matchup, huh?
So we're going for mostly a noodle match.
I guess maybe a core jack on the side, but depends. So entirely, court streams are okay, I guess. Well, I guess Hong Kong protected the slower court stream, which Grievous Fate would not be that much. Would not that be different at all?
Okay, so now let's see the first pick here coming from the Philippines. Honestly, I'm not even sure what to call here.
Hybrids, maybe just to start things up. But okay, I'll take that back. It might be not. It might be a bad move starting with a hybrid for the Philippines. We considering the team member that have shown up I guess on the chat, on the room chat. Only two. I mean, I guess three if you count Shadow. They are going for. Wait, huh?
Okay, alright. They are not playing to our expectations. They
So
don't
they're
care what the commentators say.
psychologically speaking, this is okay. It would pay heavy blow to Hong Kong because this is Hong Kong Protect, no?
Okay, so I presume Arkwin will be coming in. For the second player, well, Sunny is okay. But this is weird.
Yeah, this is just weird. I have no idea. I mean, of course, if they are adventurous and brave enough to consider the protected pick being picked by your opponent, well, we'll see how this goes. Let's see if Philippines versus Hong Kong matchup here. Not what I would expected. In terms of their game plan.
Actually, I think now that I thought about it, I think the Philippines are just picking the songs they like. Not not the chart. Just the songs they like in the pool.
As long as they have vocals, which I'm guessing it would be.
Yeah, like I think that's a secret for those picking against the Philippines. Just ban the songs with cute vocals.
Well, I guess they take the lead momentarily just because of accuracy being slightly better.
Yeah, Sunny holding very well with holding well with their accuracy, just keeping up with Arkwin for pretty much. It's only Tanjing C's 99.4 right now making the difference between these two teams.
It's just anchoring of one player from Hong Kong, which is kind of just like you mentioned before. Oh, Sunny taking a drop, and Zach actually traded that out surprisingly, actually.
But it's a messier drop there for Sunny at least. Like, it's 2 10s for Sunny.
Oh, Tanjin C. That's a very early hit.
Massive accuracy tank there for Tanjing C, and that is going to stretch the lead for the Philippines. But that's a miss coming from Sunny. That will reduce the lead by a little bit. And this is really shaky form coming from the Philippines, and Hong Kong might be able to take advantage of that.
Just still fairly slightly. I can't tell the lead we're going to. Arkwin is trying to stay afloat here with that accuracy. Might rival with Zach even with the drop from earlier. But still, lead's not going anywhere. Oh, Tanjing C, that's a lot of early hits.
Yeah, that tank, another tank from Tanjing C, dropping them below 99%. Still with a decent combo though. I think the only one of the two full combos that we're seeing here, Arkwin and Tanjing C. But there's still less than a quarter of the chart remaining. Anything can still happen.
Oh,
and
Arkwin!
There's a miss coming from Arkwin. That is pretty fake. That is not for the Philippines right now. But Sunny still has a combo. Never mind.
Hong Kong has now the further lead it goes. It's not working for the Philippines, looks like, and Hong Kong will be able to take that. They're protected, even though it's just not their pick.
Yeah, that's Hong Kong getting the first point and the break point as well.
That is a clutch full combo, even though that's the third highest score, or I guess the second lowest if you think about it. But that's a clutch.
Yeah, Tanjing C showing really good form, just making the full combo, supporting Zek's score pretty much. Meanwhile, the Philippines coming short on a pick that they're expected to be strong at.
Yeah, now Hong Kong's turn to pick. I don't know. Maybe Hong Kong will. I don't know. Maybe pick LN4. Just making your opponents protect.
Maybe. Right. Logically speaking, maybe we could look at Try 6, and there you go. There comes Try 6.
All right. This is their lane. So I'm assuming this should not be any different. Apart from maybe if the Philippines will have a swamp round. I don't know.
And honestly, this one, like, honestly, if Sunny is going to continue with their form, their misses, that's not going to help Team Philippines at all.
Okay.
But this is looking a bit interesting.
Air. It's looking like we're bringing, it's looking like that. Philippines will be bringing their heavy hitter, which is Ochi-san.
Yeah, Team Hong Kong. While they do have one more player in their team, I think this is one of those matches where they cannot really afford to do a substitution unless like it's a very specific pick.
Yeah, we'll see because it was still a kind of a dodgy lead for Hong Kong, all things considered. It's just only like a couple thousand points, which is it could go either way still.
Well, the Philippines sees a consistency for them to get the points.
Oh, that's a 200. That's almost 100% on the first 200 notes. Wait, that's kind of scary.
Well, this is what we kind of expect from the guy. For at least for speaking about Oji-san. Meanwhile, Arkwin kind of dropping Team Philippines average accuracy to where Hong Kong is right now. So that kind of means that the advantage is pretty small.
we're still gonna be
So it
sensing a
seems like
pattern where Tangency is gonna fall a little bit behind on accuracy, which kind of you would expect, but it's just the misses that might actually count.
everyone's still with their full combos going into the second half of the chart. And right now, the 1v1 set we're looking at, Oji-san and Zack. You have Arkwin going going to counter Tanjing.
Yeah, they do not want to jump the gun, even though that's still like a 9,000 point lead. You cannot drop even an inch, which does seem to work now into the 5-digit lead for the Philippines because of accuracy alone.
So far, so good. So far, so good for the Philippines, yeah?
Yeah, we're at a point where a miss would still be able to save the lead, which I do not think these players are going to miss at any point. Oh, wow, dropping at the very end.
Well.
Oh boy, okay. At the very least,
no 4-way FC.
That is the plus there for Oji-san, which is impressive for to be able to carry that.
Yeah, that's a pretty ridiculous accuracy. They're coming from Oji-san. And this is, frankly speaking, the score that you would really expect coming from the number 3 seeded team.
I suppose, yeah. It's just like faster, lower density cores, which these players should be able to handle that. It's just the speed required to do that would be at a point where accuracy might tank a little bit. But that's also double break point in in that situation. So Philippines will have to pick next. I don't know actually.
Well, they could go for Ellens, but no, they're gonna stay with the Rice.
Staying with the Rice this time.
Most likely the plan for this match is maybe they'll exhaust the Rice pool before they even touch the Ellens.
Most likely will. Korchak is just a special case, I guess, but maybe Philippines will pick that one too, and once this pick already comes up. Probably gonna be seeing the same team members, I would say. No changes whatsoever.
Yeah, Arkwin and Oji-san, this is what you'd expect as a Team PH's Rice team. And again, they need to step up their game if they want to get through this match, because Hong Kong will never let them breathe.
Yeah, this will be interesting as a speed pick. As silly as this sounds, this is the less straightforward speed pick I would you would normally see consistent 1/4 snap, or I guess in terms of BPM this would be 1/8 snap, but there are bursts in here which are heavily chokeable.
Well, we won't really see much of an activity until the main tense part really kicks in.
Yeah, it's irrelevant on the intro. Maybe this time it actually matters. Oji-san has a similar accuracy with Arkwin actually.
Yeah, and Hong Kong just not too behind. Some accuracy drop from Zek, and that is a miss as well. And that is just going to help the Philippines stretch their lead a little bit more.
Alright, mostly come to the meat of the chart here. Tangency dropping to below 99 now.
And though that accuracy tank has just skyrocketed the lead here for Team PH, who's still making double full combos.
Yeah, we're at a point there. A miss could still salvage the lead for the Philippines, which it's just accuracy difference, which really helps them afloat.
And Zek with another drop. will just increase the lead for Team PH, who have been holding out very well on this pick. Look at also Tanjingsi. I think the reason why their accuracy is struggling, like, they're hitting way earlier than they should really.
Yeah,
But
I guess
still,
we're gonna be seeing three FCs for like this entire lobby, which just comes down to like ratio here. Just falling a little bit behind, but Tang see even still impressive FC for, as it is, but that's still like lowest score.
yeah. Unfortunate accuracy there for Tanjingsi. Though again, like they can get through the charges fine with the combo. They might just want to maybe adjust some of their settings, maybe to fix their accuracy a little bit.
Maybe this time Hong Kong now has to pick, which I mean at this point they could not go ignore checks from what I'm assuming. So what I'm saying is that we maybe long node one or I guess Ataraxia, that's fine too.
Ataraxia. Well, honestly, I think this might be a good starting point really for the LNs. This will this will practically dictate how everything will go once we get to that LN side of the pool. I presume Team Philippines might look into playing the core jack pick, Rise 3, once the ball is back in their court. But I think I think it might be a good injection of confidence for either of these teams to score on this one.
Yeah, we are after seeing like three charts back to back being Rice. We get a little bit of finally get a departure on seeing how these players would play Love Note. I guess in mid game. I guess it's classified as a mid game, not completely where density actually kicks in for to make people struggle on this.
Well, anyways, here we go with the fourth chart of this match. Sunny and Oji-san. Sunny coming in for Arquin in the LNs for this LN chart. Pretty close accuracies at the very beginning.
Yeah,
Zek surprisingly the best one.
Yeah, no signs of struggles at the very least. So happy to see that it's at the very least it's okay at the stage of the game. The first quarter in, not too much of a struggle.
But like the lead is virtually nothing at the moment.
Oh,
But
Zek's the first drop.
missed. Yeah, now finally, I think there's a pretty definitive lead that we could look at right now. Though the accuracies are still really close, Zek still has a better accuracy than Sunny. Like, yeah, sure, it's only 100th, but still, like, that slight advantage will still help Hong Kong maintain this lead to a pretty manageable level. But Tanjingsi finding a drop will not help him.
Yeah, that's no full combos, two full combos on the side of Philippines. It's just handily, we're super strong in this.
And Sunny has also dropped their full combo, but Oji-san with a really good supporting score right now. The only full combo remaining in this room, with still quarter of the chart remaining, so there's still a lot of notes to negotiate. The lead is still pretty manageable, but Hong Kong will have to start hoping to see some tanking from the Philippines.
Yeah, still around 5-digit lead, which not a lot, but there's also not a lot in the chart left, I think. So I guess this would handily goes to a breakpoint as well. They will be taking the second breakpoint for that on the Hong Kong side there. That's really strong showing there for all of these players still holding at the 99s here.
Oh, okay, so Zek's combo break was an Ellen drop. So not really a miss, just unfortunate.
It's just only a dent, which only a couple hundred points apart from Sani's score, which insane if you think about it.
Okay, so now here comes Team Philippines next pick.
Is it going to be Korjak though? And
Yeah,
we
Jack might be a good one.
at
Honestly,
the very
the hybrid.
at the very least, for now, seeing Longnose from the Philippines side is able to catapult through their way for most of the Olympics remaining here.
Anyways, back to where I was. I think some of the hybrids might also be a good direction to take. Specifically, hybrid 1, maybe hybrid 3 as well. But no, they're
Okay.
going for LN1.
Okay, this could be interesting since Ellen inverse, which both of these teams really excel at this. Maybe that's the sole reason why they actually seed it this high. Would be this.
Anyways, this one has some really tricky patterns, especially at the second half. Those inverted stairs are not fun to read, not fun to get through at all.
Also, the gaps in between, just the negative space in between, like the Ellens, are kind of quite big enough. So it might be best to just actually time it right. Since if you actually like overholding some of it, it might give you some advantage, but accuracy is gonna tank.
Just a point to look at. Team Hong Kong will keep this close, I would think, considering that they're also one of the stronger LN teams among the top 8. So, like, we're looking at a chart where it could really go either way. It's just a matter of who misses first and who gets a really bad drop somewhere in this chart. So as it stands, it's the Philippines with a really good run.
Yeah, it's just the point where if you can read this, then it's just a matter of releasing correct. Which in this negative space, which is kind of big, OD5 might actually mitigate it somewhat, but overholding or letting go very early would actually cost it. Zek is actually the first drop here.
Yeah, as you were saying, releasing very early, and that's pretty much the reason why we saw a drop coming from Zek. But their accuracy is still above 99%, which is a good sign. But they might, Team Hong Kong might want to start hoping for some drops here coming from Team PH, considering the lead is already at that point where you might want a few misses, and also stepping up in accuracy might also be a task for you at hand. But anyways, here comes the harder patterns.
Yeah, we're at a point where we get to see a little bit of inverse stairs here. Yeah, should be fine for most players here. Everyone's still annihilating that.
Looking at Tanjing's accuracy right now, again, they're maintaining their full combo. It's just that their hit distribution is pretty early. Like, it averages really early.
Noticing a pattern here, which Philippines is able to get and plow through this with double combo, which potentially, unless maybe the release is actually not favoring at the, I guess, well, only Zek dropping at the very end there. But that is your 3 FCs in this lobby. That is, wow, that is very impressive. They're looking at those scores in particular. Ratio is actually very good too.
Yeah, ratios are really good for everyone here across the entire room. Well, meanwhile, Team Philippines with a double FC on LN1. That is a really strong team score. Might be one to top the leaderboards for this weekend.
Yeah, it could be one of the fair few highlights there, but now this time of Hong Kong's turn to pick here. now that they know that their LNs are not to be actually to be trifled with, it's just whether or not they get eventual hybrids, but that would be kinda bad.
No,
Okay,
they're
they're
gonna
going
stay
for
with. They're gonna stay with Ellen.
Okay, they're gonna even protect there. Yeah. So Philippines picking Hong Kong's protect, and Hong Kong's picking the, I guess their protect. I would say maybe.
Yeah, and
Now
this is a really
they're even now.
yeah, pretty much. This is one of those funny matches.
I don't know. Something tells me that even though that the lead is kind of significant, we saw like an element first chart earlier. This is just different. It's not just like you coordinate them. It's also fairly low BPM, which only 7 doesn't really help the cause of accuracy.
But anyways, I think like what of the matches I commentated this weekend. Just a side note, I think this is actually the first time I'm seeing this being played. Like
Well,
all of the matches I
yeah, I
commentated.
guess. I guess.
But just a testament on how rarely this thing hasn't played this weekend, and this is one of those special matches where everything really just lines up. Like you have both noodle teams. They would want to. They would obviously want to play noodles.
Yeah, again, exact similar issue with the accuracy. Tangency is releasing way too early. We might have to figure it out a little bit there to releasing maybe just a tad bit late.
And Zek finding the first drop
Oh.
actually make that two.
Yeah, that miss actually quite a bit there actually, like 2 drops and has a few accuracy drops along with that.
And that's a pretty sizable drop as well, considering their opponents have been carrying like upper half of 99%. Like Sunny with a 99.7, Oji-san with a 99.67. Like they're gonna maintain that consistency for the most part. And the thing about LN coordination is that the amount of notes that you're negotiating, the note density, is not going to be helping. Not going to be helping your score. Your combo doesn't accumulate fast enough on these slower LN charts.
Yeah, I guess mostly because like the node count itself is it just accounts to like holding the long node and releasing it, which with this BPM it's gonna take a while to actually recover.
Well, there's the first drop coming from Sunny, but it's a really small.
Well, 2.
Well, as I was about to say,
Make it 2,
I
I
was about to
guess,
say a
but
small drop. But Zeka does counter it with what is essentially a tank.
yeah, that's 2 drops I guess from the Zek side. So only 2 versus 4 drops I guess in particular. But there's something to notice that Sami's drops in particular, it's just only drops on not 200s, it's just slider breaks most likely.
Yeah, this is still a really strong score, really. But we still have 2 more full combos left in this room by way of Oji-san and Tanjing-C. But the difference between the 2 full combos is like a full percent and a tenth.
Yeah, I guess we're coming to the outro, which is like practically the last quarter, which does not feature quite a bit of I guess more of the same. But it's practically kind of sealed if you look at the accuracy alone.
Yeah. Oh wait, I actually just noticed it's not a 98.5, it's a 99.5 for Tanjing-C. So not too far behind Oji-san's full combo score as well.
Yeah, you kind of have to give it credit that Tanjitsu is able to recover from like 99, the very low 99 at the intro, and now climbing back up to maybe match Sunny, just most likely just the full combo as well too.
Oh, what is that
Rivaling.
200 count?
Oh boy, that's
Oh
five
boy.
200, 5 200s and 8 200s. That's just really disgusting when OD7 is taken into account.
Yeah. Well, those who watch, who follow Osamania 7K really closely, will know how difficult this chart is. And while the chart doesn't look very dense, very impressive, like in an untrained, if you have untrained eyes, those two scores that you just saw from Sunny and Oji-san are some of the strongest scores you're gonna see this entire weekend.
Oh, we're actually gonna be double swap there for Philippines for Suzumi, that tiebreaker-esque hybrid. No Sunny, no Oji-san. Just Arcwind and Shadow. Interesting, to say the least.
Interesting. And it's on the hardest pick of the pool as well.
Okay, I'm at the very least skeptical because we haven't seen. I guess mid game Shadowkun would play around. I guess in the most of the late game pools, but I guess we'll have to see for this hybrid.
Well, let's have to see, especially for Shadowkun here, if they're able to keep up with practically everyone else in the room. While Shadowkun has been performing pretty well over the past two rounds, this is the first short of the weekend. And
Yeah.
it's on a pretty vital point.
Yeah, looks like he's able to keep up with most of the. I guess the intro would be tame in comparison. Well, tame would not be the right word to say it, but it's definitely still keeping up there. Not anymore.
Well, not anymore. That's unfortunate. Meanwhile, Team Hong Kong with a really consistent 99.6 average accuracy. But a miss coming from Zek on this break section, which is far from a break section. Again, to whoever follows Mania 7K.
Ooh. Even though the lead is still like Far Cry, well, I guess Shadow can actually tank a little bit on the almost shield patterns here, which gonna give the lead a little bit to Hong Kong, which by all accounts, this should not be the dancing section.
Yeah, like there are some pretty harder. There's some harder sections really in this chart, and this is one of them. We see another drop from Shadowkun, but everyone else maintaining pretty substantial combos. Two players with FCs.
Yeah, Shadowkun is not having that best of time, even though it's still doing fine, but I'm not sure. At least practically goes to like just actually
Well, no more full
now
combo.
losing the full combo. I believe Tangis is the only full combo. Yeah.
Yeah, Tantric C with the only full combo, and I think their accuracy has been pretty solid for the most part.
Yeah, by solid, it's still like I believe that's like a 99.4 at the intro, and he's still staying at a 99.4. He doesn't get better. He doesn't get worse. $20,000 lead there, but Shadow can keep continually finding lots of transitions here. Not looking very good here, just to keep them ahead in general. Yeah, continue finding drops in the LNs here. I guess the spacebar LN could say so, but that's still gonna eclipse the 30,000 point lead now to Hong Kong. But now Tangis is finally losing the full combo there.
Yeah, no more full combos left in this room, but this is practically a really safe lead now for Hong Kong. They just need to take this home. And Shadowkun and Tantric C finding a trade, but trades do favor the team in the lead.
Yeah,
the misses. Yeah. The misses from Hong Kong is just being reciprocated by Shadowkun or Arkwin in this case.
Yeah, you're gonna have to give props to Hong Kong to be able to still holding all the 99s here, even with substantial combos to begin with, and Tanguy keeping up the combo until like the last quarter of it.
Yeah, this is practically
two to 5 here.
Yeah, this is pretty much Hong Kong's point sealed. And now it will be Hong Kong's pick as well. This is also a breakpoint. Hong Kong's 2 points have been breakpoints from Philippines picks.
Yeah, if I were you, that Hong Kong here doesn't have that much left to pick outside of it. I guess that this pick from Philippines though is probably like a one-off thing, because Shadow is having so much trouble at trying to keep their consistency up. And there's only like 2 hybrids and 1 LM left. I do not think they can go Cortex here. That's a death sentence if considering Philippines' strengths in particular. Okay, Isopode it is. Isopode being hybrid 2, they're gonna venture along on the I guess wacky snaps. Not necessarily Ellen intense. It's just weird. It's just a weird pick in general though.
And honestly, this is a good pick for Hong Kong. But again, I think what Hong Kong really needs is able to maintain their combos for the most part. Like that's already one check mark pretty much. But if there's any like that's one check mark at least. Like they can maintain their combo, but if there's a chart where you absolutely have to, it's this one. And now that's all, and it's also because Sunny came in for Shadowkun. I presume that at least from performances, this match might see a higher team score relative to the previous pick.
Yeah, it would be like higher average, I would say. Sunny is able to, I guess, hold their own in terms of hybrid, which is definitely very good. It's definitely a very good idea to bring them in. So, interestingly enough, it's just probably gonna. It's either 2 sections which are either they are good or very good at long runs, but Hong Kong needs to tank the core stream at the end there, or not necessarily core stream, but just the technical patterns in the last 15 seconds or so.
Something interesting to note: Hong Kong has been maintaining better accuracy in this, like over the first third of this chart. They're averaging around 99.7, and meanwhile, Team PH at around 99.5. But now it really depends on who tanks their accuracy first in this pick, because we've been seeing this score gap flicker between the two sides.
Yeah, still no lead whatsoever until the first half of this. So, I getting kind of nervous a little bit, but there's still like the last 15 seconds, which features a lot of rice or technical patterns, which it can go either way.
And now the lead has been trending more towards the Philippines side of your screen. But just note, the accuracies have been really close. Sunny just performing a little bit better than Tanjing C.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Arkwin and Zek.
Yeah, these rice patterns might be the deal breaker. We see a couple mistakes happening on Japan versus Indonesia on these rice patterns. Like Zek did the first victim of that.
Here comes Zek. Yeah, it's also the better of the two Hong Kong accuracies. That drop combo, and that will just help Team PH amass a lead. Look at that lead skyrocket. Like it's been pretty close over the first 2/3 of this chart, and now at this final quarter where the patterning just becomes pretty intense. We're at 5 digits, all just because of that one drop and the increased intensity.
Sunny
unfortunately dropping their full combo.
Dropping at the very end there, unfortunately. But that is a win for the Philippines, 6-2. against Hong Kong there. Very, very well fought there by Hong Kong to take out 2 breakpoints on their side, but unfortunately, this is not their lucky day to get some more points out of the Philippines. So Philippines will be moving on to the winners bracket of the semifinals, and Hong Kong still has
Yeah.
one last leg remaining on the lower bracket, which still goes to the semifinals, but on a lower level.
Yeah, Hong Kong is going to have to get through 2 matches to assure them a spot in the finals weekend. Meanwhile, wait, semi-final. Yeah, it should be finals weekend if they win the
Yeah,
two
yeah,
matches next week.
semifinals.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Meanwhile, Team Philippines will have a task and a half next weekend because they're gonna face familiar opposition, China, next week.
Yeah, that is a matchup. Seed 3 versus seed, I guess, second place of the entire seeding, which China
Yeah.
does able to get through that. But that is for semifinals, which Philippines gonna have to step up their game because not only that, the entire team members will have to upscore themselves, or I guess have skill pools for to be able to tackle semifinals full, I guess.
Well, if anything though, all of the top three have conceded points this World Cup already. And considering everything, as far as I know, it's only Team PH having conceded a total of 5 points, and it's the most of the top three. Might be a dynamic to look at come next weekend. But for now, we still have a few more matches left in this weekend, and the first one of those few will be happening 13 minutes from now. We have neighbors, Germany versus the Netherlands face each other,
Yeah,
and
the
that is
few
spicy.
those are the few European countries that I guess there's only that one last leg, because I believe that was also like lower bracket matchup too, which given their history about their particular places in like the last few years World Cup, it's probably pretty stagnant. Maybe they have to duke it out against each other.
Yeah. But anyways, before we take a short break, just a reminder: the Osimania 7K World Cup in 2025 team support banners are up on the OC store. If you want to support your country or your players, a favorite player's country, you may do so by buying a banner on the OC store. The money that goes to those banners will be going to the prize pool, and if you just so happen to buy the banner of the winning team, that banner will stay on your profile until the next edition of the 7K World Cup. In addition, you can buy multiple banners, like multiples of the same country, multiples of anything. So if you want to make your profile extra long for the next 2-3 weeks, you can do so. I mean, we've seen some crazy people do that. So
Yeah,
yeah.
those proceedings will
Anyways,
also definitely help fund the prize pool itself. So support means a lot to these countries, to the team members, to all the countries involved in the World Cup as well. So do get your support up.
well, anyways, that's it for me personally this weekend. You'll be hearing a different set of commentators over the next few matches, over the next few hours as well. So, in behalf of the rest of the team, this has been Sergio 85 and Mifa for the OCME 7K World Cup 2025 quarterfinals weekend. See you guys 11 minutes from now.
We'll be signing off.